welcome everyone. Glad you could join us today for our webinar. In terms of the agenda for our session, kind of just went through introductions. We'll introduce Results Positive for those of you that we might be new to. Then we're really going to jump in and talk about some of the major new capabilities with the Vancouver release around the project workspace, strategic planning workspace as well. So those will be the two key areas. We'll highlight a little bit of the SPM roadmap. Those of you might attended one of the recent ServiceNow vision sessions, so that have a kind of a high level view there that might be pertinent. And then we'll provide an overview of our pre-configured SPM reporting solutions, and then go into question and answers. So here again, thanks again for your participation today, and we will jump right in. So those of you that aren't familiar with Results Positive, we've been helping customers achieve their business outcomes over the last 18 years and really provide right-sized solutions to help with those business outcomes. Our key focus areas here around strategic portfolio management, project portfolio management, analytics and reporting, as well as doing service management for IT and customers, and ServiceNow as being our strategic go-to-market partner. In terms of some of the service offerings that we provide, we do advisory services around assessments and roadmaps, really helping organizations identify a journey and assist them in that journey. And then we also provide overall implementations, whether it be quick, rapid start implementations to full-blown implementations, implementing our various custom reporting solutions as well as managed services. And you can see here off to the right some of our different reporting solutions. We'll be getting into some of our prepackaged solutions here at the end of the webinar. But our focus has always been about giving customers access to the information that they need, helping them right size, give them the best practices so that they can get the best out of their technology investments, which also includes training as well. And then just why customers work with us is based on our experience and that best practice expertise around strategic portfolio management, as well as our value-added solutions here with our different solutions that we'll highlight later today, and there's that focus on outcomes. So thanks again for attending our session today, and welcome to our webinar. And so what I want to do next here is provide you a brief overview of some of the major Vancouver release new capabilities. And then from there, we'll go into a demonstration, and we'll continue with the previous agenda. So the first thing to highlight here, and we're assuming a lot of you know about the Strategic Planning Workspace. It used to be called the Alignment Planner, but it's called the Strategic Planning Workspace. This is where ServiceNow is making a lot of their investments here when it comes to strategic portfolio management. And so here in the goals framework area, they now have a landing page dashboard here, so you can kind of start tracking and viewing your different goals. What's really important here is to make sure that it gives you visibility into goals that might not be aligned, and so it helps you make sure that your goal information is correct. As you can see here down below, I can look at total goals, I can look at goals that don't have any parent goals, which might be correct, might not be, with no targets, so meaning no goal targets that we're trying to achieve there, as well as we might have some work that's not aligned to any goals. So this is key here. So this is a nice overall dashboard page, and you can actually have filtering here as well. So we'll go in and highlight that in the demonstration. So some of the other capabilities here within the Strategic Planning Workspace include product feedback. And so this gives you some feedback and kind of provide one central location here for feedback coming in across different channels. One of those key channels will be off of your ideas if you're using the innovation or idea portal. So you can do that there, or email or chat, other items that are coming in. So this is a way to kind of look at overall feedback. This is really good for organizations that are using the idea module. It's also good for product-based organizations that are looking for product feedback. So we'll be able to drill in and show you some more information here around the product feedback capability. And then here with prioritization. So they're making some initial updates here with Vancouver around Moscow ratings and be able to view those in an overall hierarchy. So that's a nice capability. On the roadmap, I think it's supposed to be coming out in November. They have some more enhanced capabilities for prioritization and allowing users to kind of configure that overall prioritization capabilities. So that's something to look out for here coming up next month. A big thing here is capacity planning. And so those of you that are familiar with Strategic Planning Workspace, prior to this capability, you really could come in and prioritize things, add them to a roadmap, be able to track your dependencies across your different planning items. But there was no visibility of your resource capacity in Strategic Planning Workspace. And so now you have that ability to get that capacity view. It could be by group or by role, group being kind of the primary here. So what this is doing is bringing in basically your resource groups, your resource roles, and associated resource plans that you're doing kind of in the bottom up PPM side and kind of rolling it up here so you can get that visibility here as you're looking at your portfolio plans. So nice capability to give you that visibility here in your portfolio plan. Next here is being able to get visibility into the financial planning. So this is down at the project level. So you'll be able to see down at the project level it's basically your cost plans, if you will. Be able to see that information here within the Strategic Planning Workspace. So before it was high level and that information wasn't there, but now you'll be able to see that information here in the Strategic Planning Workspace once you go into a specific project. Also next here, they have some new data separation capabilities that you can also do now. So based upon your different lenses, you can set this up. So it's pretty easy to configure. Here again, you can get more complex with it as well. But this gives you the ability to provide that segregation by role or by group that you only want to have certain information shared with specific individuals. So this could be based upon your different planning items, such as a project or demands, as an example. The related items, such as resource plan or cost plan, as an example. And so you can kind of create that separation and safeguard and prevent the individuals from viewing that information as you deem appropriate. Next, if we look at the project workspace, so this is outside of the Strategic Planning Workspace. So here, and I don't know if everyone's had a chance to start using it, but definitely highly recommend it if you haven't. So this is the more modern way of managing your project schedule. And they're continuing to update the workspace to add in more capabilities that were part of the legacy project workspace. So a couple of the things they're doing here with this release is the financials. So now you'll actually have a financials tab in the new project workspace that'll be available so that you can view all of your different cost plans here in the actual new project workspace. So you won't need to toggle back over to the legacy view. Then also next, you'll be able to look at things from a resource perspective, and you'll be able to do that here actually in the planning section. And it looks like I have the wrong screenshot here. I'll show that in the demo, and we'll update that for the materials we send out. But it's a great way for you to come in and actually combines the creation of assigned project resources to tasks, where it'll actually auto-create and allocate a user-based resource plan. So kind of tying that together. Typically when we do implementations, a lot of customers ask questions around that, how the individual task resource assignments and how they're different than a resource plan. This is kind of bringing that together. So we'll have a chance to show that for you. You don't have to use this option, right? So it's based upon the maturity of your organization. There is a property here that's kind of listed that would provide that to you. So that's a key component to enable that capability, but we'll see that in the demonstration. So I'm going to go in here and provide demonstration here. And I'm going to first start off here with the strategic planning workspace. So I'm in here in the strategic planning workspace, and I'm here in the new product feedback capabilities. And I'm here looking at the overview here, so I can see all the feedback that's coming in. A lot of times the question is, well, what type of information is coming in? Where's the feedback coming from? So I can see chat, customer meetings, emails, social media, idea portal. Obviously, there's setup that would be done to bring that information in, but you can filter down here in your dashboard for just specific types of source of data, as an example. And here, if you're using products, right, you can identify your different products and filter that information down here. And then next over here, we could come get a list here of our different feedback items here, so we can see the list here and look at the status of those. You can see here next, then you can actually turn those into ideas, right? So you could turn those into ideas, manage those. I could create new product ideas as an example. So this is really a good function if you're kind of more in the agile space and you're doing a lot of ideation and really kind of managing products. So this is to help organizations are starting that journey to migrate to product centric. So that's the high level introduction here into the product feedback capabilities. And then here coming back to the overview page. So the next thing we wanted to go and look at here is we'll come over and first come to the goals. So here with the goals, we have the new dashboard here. And so we can see more information here about our goals. As I mentioned previously, looking at, do we have any not aligned to parent goals? Here, do we have any goals without a target, right? So we can quickly drill into those items, go into that particular goal here as an example. So we can view that here in the system, and then we could go in and actually create targets associated with it. So that can be set up as well. We could also relate these to one of the overall strategic priorities for the organization, right? So we can associate that here as well. And then I could just obviously go off and save that. So I can basically come back and look at the overall goals here and manage those here from my overall new dashboard page. I can come over here and look at goals here if I've got those that would be set up that might have a hierarchy. So in this case, right, I've just got an overall goal here. If I had a target, I would see that below and I would see the overall progress. Those of you that aren't familiar with the goals here, so this is part of the new goal framework. When you transition to the new goal framework, then your demands and projects will be related to a primary goal. And what we see here is a way that you could kind of track the overall progress of maintaining these goals, but it's done manually. So I could come in here and identify what my base target is. I could identify my actual targets associated with that as well. So I could track that % complete change over time. Let's see, and we've got here. So here's kind of looking at if I had kind of unaligned, and I've got my overall goals here as well. So that was the core thing we wanted to highlight here is the new dashboard. So you can get more visibility here. You can see which ones are related to the different priorities as an example. So we can see that. Then if I come over here into the planning section, the big new change here in Vancouver here's with the capacity planning. And so I would come over here into the capacity planning here. Basically what you do first is you look at setting up your criteria here, and you would select your different groups in this case. So you would select all your different groups as associated there. And as you can see here, I've got 8 selected, so I could select one or multiple groups as an example, and then I could submit that. In this case, I'm going to cancel since I already have my HR process team here highlighted. And so I can see here that team. I can look at my overall availability, which is color coded here. So I do have some additional capacity here in January here. And so I can see that I have some estimates outside of my overall time frame. And then what I'm also seeing down here, I can see all the associated projects here that are part of this overall facility plan, a portfolio plan. So I can see those projects, I can see the overall timeline associated with it. So it gives me a good view here. As you see, as I'm kind of hovering over the individual items, it's going to show me where that relates to the overall schedule here on top, and lets me know whether or not I have resource capacity to work on those particular items. So a great way to now give you visibility as you're making those, say, roadmap decisions here and adding them here to your roadmap. Do we have the capacity to take on that work? So great capability here. Like I said, it's actually bringing the data in from your resource groups, your resource roles, as well as your resource plans, and displaying that information here in the strategic planning workspace. So that's a key component here. Then next, if we come in and we wanted to come over to prioritization here. So one thing that we mentioned earlier is new now. They have out of the box the Moscow rating. So you can use that and associate that with your different planning items. So in this case here, we can see that we identified these 5 projects as a must-have. And then we can see here we have other projects here that are a should-have, as an example. And that here's because I kind of grouped them together. I could clear that grouping, and then we would just see our overall list. I can see over here that we have the Moscow rating as example. I can just come in and update my Moscow rating as needed here. As I showed earlier, right, if I wanted to drag that up here and do my overall filtering, I can then see the overall view from a Moscow rating perspective. As we mentioned, there's going to be an enhanced capabilities to allow you for really tracking, actually setting up your prioritization. You can have a different prioritization scheme as well. So that's also available. As many of you might or might not know, right, there's different other types of views here of your portfolio plan. So there's a Kanban board view here. I think that's only with the professional edition, if you will. So that's kind of more advanced edition. Here we can just look at things from an overall hierarchy perspective. So it's showing that this particular portfolio plan is a company plan with a business unit here and Department of Finance, and then showing us all the different planning items here. So you can kind of get that type of hierarchy as well. Here again, I can come back into prioritization and just get a traditional list. I can also come over here into my roadmap here and see my traditional roadmap. Here, right, we could come over here and look at this from a Kanban board as well. So that's also available here for you. Those of you that aren't familiar with the strategic planning workspace, one of the key values I see here with the roadmap is that you can actually tie and display dependencies. So if I had dependencies between 2 particular planning items, I'd actually see a line between those and show my dependencies. So that's a nice feature, especially for executives trying to understand, do we have dependencies here with these different initiatives, so we can quickly view that information. So that's kind of a view there from the strategic planning workspace and some of the new Vancouver release capabilities. So next here, if we go into the project workspace here, so we've got those of you that are familiar with the new project workspace, you've got the planning, which was the initial release here, and I could view all my individual tasks in here. Also, then I had the RIDIC, some of the risk issues. So this is a great capability here. So I kind of have the UI to easily create items and kind of manage them in that perspective. So I can create a new one here, and I can just have my list of risks and issues and easily come in and manage it here or update that. So it gives me a nice kind of UI from almost a spreadsheet type of UI, so I can make updates here to my risk and issues. So That was a previous capability. So you can view that information here. And then if we go, so that was kind of the core. And then here with Vancouver, we've added in, or ServiceNow's added in financials. So here with financials, you're really seeing a list of your cost plans. So I can see my different cost plans here. I can actually come in and create a new cost plan. So if I have a new hardware costs here as an example, I can add that in here easily. And I can just put in my overall cost associated with that here, and I can save that. So it's going to add another overall cost plan. You can see here it's got also an item here to generate labor costs. So the question previously about resource assignments here at the project level, we'll get into that shortly. That's one of the new capabilities here as well. But if y'all wanted to here, I could click on this and it would generate the labor costs, i.e. generate the labor cost plans here to this particular project. So this is a new capability, this overall page to manage things here. So you can remain kind of consistent from a UI perspective here in the new project workspace. And then if I come back over to planning, they have some new capabilities here around resource and resource scheduling. And so here we can see that they have a new resource assignees. And so you can have that here. And you can determine, hey, we want to manage that here with the resource plans. So I can see the resource plans down below here. And I can come in here and actually add other resource plans. I don't have to see the heat map. If I prefer not to, I can add the heat map here. And then the PM could come in here and add in another resource here as an example. And so we could add that resource here to that. We can see that they have added them up here up above to that particular resource plan. Here again, the effort here defaulted to 1 hour in this, or actually 1 FTE, as we can see here. So I could adjust this to hours as an example here. I can update the overall hours associated with that. So I can start to see if that is any issue with that particular resource here. So since we're based off over multiple months, I still have capacity for that resource as an example. And so we can see that. So what this is doing when you create this here, it's actually creating a resource plan, a user type resource plan. As you can see here, it's automatically allocating it to that person. So that kind of brings together the whole idea. If I want to do my resource assignments here at the task level, same thing here, it will auto create those resource plans. That might not be what you want to do if you want to make sure that all of your resource planning and allocations are controlled by your resource managers. So in that case, you wouldn't turn on that feature. But if that's something that's beneficial, then you turn on that that we provided earlier, and then you'll be able to do this. As you saw here, once I added someone down below, it automatically adds them up here into the resource assignments. I also just wanted to highlight here, it's not really doing it to the assigned to, it's using this new overall field here called resource assignees. So that's a nice, really good capability, especially for organizations that were always kind of challenged a little bit or confused on why the task resource assigned to or assignee was different and not tied to an actual resource plan. So now we can see that this new resource assignee field there, an attribute, is then tied here directly to these resource plans that will be automatically created and allocated. So that's kind of the overview here from a update in the project workspace. So a lot of really good information there and new capabilities. So next here, what I wanted to do is come in and kind of highlight some of the new roadmap highlights. And so if you attended one of the recent ServiceNow vision sessions, they highlighted this in a lot more detail. but just wanted to highlight this for you. As you know, with roadmaps are subject to change, but what you can see here, they're continuing to focus in on enhancing and growing the strategic planning workspace. And you can see here with the upcoming releases, some of the additional capabilities that they're planning on bringing on board here. So like the investment portal, investment funding, as an example, the portfolio workbench. You can look for those things coming forward in the future. Also, some really new resource management workspace. So kind of the new user experience for a resource management workspace. So that's coming up here in the next couple of releases there. They have a very innovative collaborative work management item that's coming up in the future. So that's going to simplify things a lot for individuals to go into one place to manage all of their work. It can help with my understandings around documents and other capabilities. So it'll be interesting to see how that all comes out. And then we can see here in the future here around innovation and test management. So just thought to give you a kind of a bird's eye view into what's coming forward. And next here, based on time, just wanted to give you guys a chance to see some of the pre-configured dashboards that our customers are using. Almost all of our customers are using one of these different dashboards here to get the visibility that they need to make better business decisions. And why we build these are using ServiceNow's service portal capabilities. So they're easily upgradable here. And why we build these are for some typical pain points that customers have addressed. One is they want to share the data with all users. And so we can do that here because it's a service portal, so we can share that data. Wouldn't require a license for that. We can also calculate and display indicators that might not be in the core system. So that's another key area. We can also take the graphics and the layout and actually save that to PDF or PowerPoint. So that's one of the other core capabilities. And then just having an engaging UI that's easy to use. A lot of our customers, their CIO, some of the COOs are using it, some CISOs are using it. So it's a great way to get visibility into what are our investment requests, what are we actually approved from a project perspective, what are we actually delivering, what's the status. So great capabilities there. So some examples here. So these are pre-configured. They can be installed as is. We can tailor those. Most organizations like to have them tailored slightly. And so this gives you that overall visibility to all stakeholders so they can really understand your overall pipeline, as well as the current work that's being done, as well as then being able to export that. Here's a business case. So having a nice formatted business case is a way for executives to easily make decisions. And so we've been able to pull that information into a nice business case. Next here is a project charter. So rewarding the PMs for putting in the details of the project and giving them that charter, which they could then save and share with members of the organization. Here again, they can get access to it on the central portal. Also with status reports, we have some very nice 1- and 2-page status reports. We also can tailor those. Those are very, very well received. You have a consistent look and feel for all of your projects, and then you can have that into a PowerPoint slide as well. We do many other portals to address other customer pain points or requirements. So, from a strategic plan balance scorecard, leveraging a lot of the data off the strategic planning workspace, to program status reports, to an overall project earned value, kind of have the overall graph and see the earned value over time, close out lessons learned, even have benefit realization type of dashboard reports. So you can, and then we have a lot around resource management, work management as well. So a lot of times organizations, have the question, what is the cost? So we have these, we can install these very quickly. We have here just a base estimate for doing some tailoring. Here again, it might be more based on your requirements. But here you could get all of this. Here we have end of year pricing. So if you're able to contract before the end of the year, you could get all of these for the 25,000, then you can use these ongoing. So just as an overall idea there that you might want to pursue that. If I go in here and just kind of show some examples here of our overall pre-configured, so you can see here is the executive project portfolio overall portal here. So you can roll up, roll down the information here with filters. Here you can export, as we said, to PDF or to PowerPoint. We can view here the overall roadmap as an example. We can actually come in here and then look at the actual status report. So with one click, executives can view the status report and be able to answer all the questions in a self-service way. Here we can come over to the demands. They can click here and get access to the business case. Here at the projects, they can go to the status report or even the project charter. So here's an example of the project charter. Here again, this can be tailored and be more tailored to your requirements. And then here's looking at it from an overall business case perspective as well. So really powerful. It really helps drive adoption in the organization. Executives love it. They can get in, they get the visibility. That in and of itself drives adoption, make sure that your data is more accurate and up to date, which are typical challenges as well. And so as the organization understands executives are going in, also you can use this for your governance meetings, right? And do your various filtering there and use that to make better business decisions. So we wanted to provide you with an overview there of our pre-configured solutions. And just to highlight that end of year pricing opportunity for everyone. So if you're looking for what's your next step, how can we get more value out of SPM, definitely could schedule a value discovery workshop. We can understand your requirements and give you recommendations just on how to use the system and no services or no solutions, or maybe there's opportunity where you would assist you with some services or solutions that you're looking for. You can schedule one of our training sessions, such as the implementation roadmap. It's a great workshop there. Within 4 hours, you'll be able to have a draft roadmap there for PPM or SPM. Schedule an opportunity to talk about an implementation or managed services engagement with results positive, or schedule a more deep dive on our reporting solutions, discuss what your requirements are, and we could then give you a formal proposal on that. So those are typical common customer next steps. So wanted to make sure that everyone's aware of those possibilities as well.